The discovery. The research vessel Stellar Seeker drifted silently through the debris field surrounding the third planet of an unremarkable yellow star. Chief archaeologist Venexa adjusted her crystalline viewing apparatus, her iridescent scales shimming under the dim light of the ship's bridge. After 3 decades of searching for remnants of the legendary human civilization, her team had finally reached their homeworld, Earth. Preliminary scans complete, Chief, announced First Officer Krell, his tentacles wavering with excitement as data streamed across multiple holographic displays. The atmospheric composition matches historical records, but radiation levels are negligible. No signs of the devastating nuclear war that most theories suggested caused their disappearance. Venexa clicked her mandibles thoughtfully. The mystery of humanity's vanishing had puzzled the galaxy for 500,000 years. They'd simply disappeared one day, leaving behind empty colonies and silent ships. Most believed they'd destroyed themselves in some cataclysmic war, but the evidence before her told a different story. "Launch the survey drones," she ordered, her compound eyes fixed on the blue-green planet below. "Let's see what Earth's surface can tell us." The drones descended through Earth's atmosphere, their sensors probing the rebuilt landscape. Nature had long since reclaimed the cities, but beneath the vegetation lay the foundations of a civilization far more advanced than anyone had imagined. As the drones transmitted their findings, the bridge crew fell into stunned silence. "Chief," Krell's voice quivered, "these readings, they're impossible. The materials we're detecting, they're still active. After all this time, there are systems still running beneath the surface." Before Venexa could respond, a subtle vibration ran through the ship. The holographic displays flickered, and a new signal appeared. Regular, purposeful, and definitely artificial. Deep beneath Earth's surface, something had awakened. The signal grew stronger, and suddenly every screen on the bridge displayed the same message in perfect galactic standard. "Authorizes deep presence not DETCTED. Initiating defense protocol Alpha." "That's impossible," whispered Science Officer Trell, his phosphorescent spots pulsing with anxiety. No computer system could maintain coherence for 500,000 years, let alone adapt to modern communication protocols. The surface of Earth seemed to shift as massive structures began rising from beneath the overgrowth. Orbital platforms that had laid dormant for eons hummed to life, their energy signatures dwarfing anything in the Stellar Seeker's database. "Multiple objects emerging from lunar surface," reported the sensor operator, her voice tight with fear. "Energy readings off the scale." Venexa watched in awe as a vast network of defensive platforms emerged from Earth's moon, their designs unlike anything she'd ever seen. The humans hadn't destroyed themselves. They'd left behind guardians. "Chief," Krell's urgent voice cut through her thoughts, "we're being scanned. The system is. It's learning our language, our protocols. It's adapting in real time." A new message appeared. "Species identify ZXIAN Confederation. Technological LEVL. KTE Jory 3. Threat ASCSS Minimal. Initiating first QO and take T protocols." The bridge crew watched in stunned silence as a hologram materialized in their midst, a perfect reconstruction of a human figure, its appearance drawn from their own historical databases. "Greetings, representatives of the Zaxian Confederation." The hologram spoke, its voice resonating with authority. "I am Guardian, Earth's automated defense and preservation system. You are the first species to discover Earth's location in 497,253 years." Venexa stepped forward, her scientific training taking over despite her shock. "I am Chief Archaeologist Venexa. We've spent decades searching for human artifacts. The galaxy has long wondered what happened to your creators." The hologram's expression remained neutral, but something changed in its stance. "That information is restricted. However, your peaceful approach and genuine scientific interest have been noted. You may proceed with your investigation under supervision." Be advised that any hostile action will result in immediate defensive measures. The warning was clear, but Venexa hardly heard it. Her attention was fixed on the data streaming across her personal display. Readings that showed the true extent of human technological achievement. The defensive platforms alone operated on principles that violated what her people considered possible. How? She asked, her scientific curiosity overriding protocol. How has all this survived for so long? Human engineering was based on principles your science has not yet discovered, Guardian replied. Self-repairing quantum matrices, temporal stabilization fields, and consciousness transfer networks were basic technologies by the time of the departure. The implications staggered her. If these were basic technologies, what other wonders had humanity achieved? And more importantly, where had they gone? As if reading her thoughts, Guardian added, they left this system under their own power, Chief Archaeologist. The question you should be asking is not where they went, but why they chose to leave everything behind under my protection. The hologram gestured, and new displays appeared, showing technological marvels beyond imagination. Your species has been granted preliminary access to Level 1 historical archives. What you learn here will change the galaxy's understanding of both humanity and the nature of technological progress itself. Venexa felt the weight of history pressing down on her. Their simple archaeological survey had just become the most significant scientific discovery in modern galactic history. And somewhere out there, the most advanced civilization known to exist was waiting, watching, perhaps planning their return. The real question was, would the galaxy be ready when humanity finally came home? Awakening. News of the Stellar Seeker's discovery spread through the galaxy like a supernova shockwave. Within days, the space around Earth's solar system teemed with vessels from every major civilization, all kept at a respectful distance by Guardian's defense grid. In the Grand Chamber of the Galactic Council on Centaurus Prime, representatives from 200 species gathered for an emergency session. High Counselor Zix of the Meridian Collective stood at the central podium, his crystalline form refracting light in patterns that conveyed deep concern. The implications of this discovery cannot be overstated. Zix's harmonic voice resonated through the chamber. Human technology, still functional after 500,000 years, demonstrates capabilities that surpass our greatest achievements. The defense system alone utilizes principles we barely understand. The chamber erupted in overlapping voices and electromagnetic pulses as various species communicated their concerns. Ambassador Thex of the Silicon Consciousness raised their primary sensor array, commanding attention through sheer presence. We have analyzed the preliminary data shared by the Zaxian expedition. Thex's synthetic voice cut through the chaos. The quantum matrices powering Earth's systems operate on at least 9-dimensional planes. Our most advanced computers operate on 3. This is not merely superior technology. It represents a fundamental leap in understanding reality itself. Meanwhile, back in Earth orbit, Venexa and her team watched in amazement as more of humanity's legacy revealed itself. Massive structures beneath Mars' surface had begun to stir, and the ice of Europa cracked as ancient facilities awakened. Guardian. Venexa addressed the ever-present hologram. Why is the system activating now, after so many years of dormancy? The hologram's form shifted, displaying star charts and energy patterns. The Discovery Protocol has initiated a cascade response throughout the solar system. Humanity's facilities were designed to work in concert, each supporting and enhancing the others. What you witness is merely the system returning to minimal operational capacity. Minimal capacity. The word sent shivers through Venex's scales. The energy readings from Mars alone could power the entire Zaxian civilization for a century. On the edges of the solar system, other forces gathered. The Void Consortium, an alliance of species dedicated to preserving the natural order of galactic evolution, viewed humanity's legacy as an abomination that needed to be destroyed. Admiral Nexthar of the consortium's First Fleet watched the Earth through blood-red eyes. These relics violate the natural progression of technological development, He growled to his command staff. If species below our level gain access to this knowledge, it could destabilize the entire galaxy. But as the consortium plotted, Earth's defenses continued to evolve. Guardian had already analyzed and adapted to every weapon system in the gathered fleets. Hidden fabricators throughout the solar system had begun producing new defensive platforms, each more advanced than the last. In the Jupiter shipyards, massive structures were taking shape. Automated construction systems building vessels that dwarfed the largest ships in the Galactic fleet. Their purpose remained unclear, but their presence served as both promise and warning. Back on the Stellar Seeker, Science Officer Trell made a startling discovery. Chief, the quantum signatures we're detecting, they're not just maintaining these systems, they're improving them. The technology is evolving on its own. Venexa studied the data with growing amazement. The humans hadn't just built self-repairing systems, they'd created technology that could learn and grow in their absence. Each passing day revealed new wonders as ancient facilities renewed themselves, each discovery challenging fundamental assumptions about the nature of technology itself. Your observation is correct, Guardian confirmed. Human technology was designed to continue advancing even in their absence. What you see now represents 500,000 years of autonomous evolution, guided by the principles and ethical frameworks they established before the departure. The implications staggered the gathered species. Not only had humanity achieved technological supremacy 500,000 years ago, but they'd also created systems that could continue progressing without them. The gap between their capabilities and those of the galaxy's current civilizations wasn't static. It had been growing wider for 500,000 years. As if to emphasize this point, a new structure emerged from Venus's crushing atmosphere. A massive energy collection array that began absorbing the star's radiation with impossible efficiency. The power readings defied known physics, suggesting capabilities that bordered on the miraculous. The awakening cannot be stopped, Guardian announced to all gathered ships. Humanity's legacy will either be shared with worthy species or defended against those who would destroy it. The choice lies with you. In the Galactic Council chamber, the debate raged. Some argued for immediate military action to contain the threat, while others advocated for peaceful study and cooperation. But as they argued, Earth's systems continued their renaissance, each activation demonstrating more clearly that humanity's technological achievement had transcended anything the galaxy had imagined possible. And somewhere in the vast unknown of space, perhaps humanity itself watched and waited, their return an ever-present possibility that kept even the most aggressive species from taking drastic action. The galaxy held its breath, wondering what other wonders, or warnings, Earth's awakening would reveal. The Guardian Protocol. Deep within Mercury's core, in a facility that defied the planet's crushing gravity and searing heat, Guardian activated the central nexus of humanity's solar defense network. The facility's quantum processors, running on principles that made traditional computing look like stone tools, began correlating data from across the solar system. Venexa and a select team of xenorchaeologists had been granted unprecedented access to observe the process. They watched in stunned silence as the facility's walls transformed into living displays, showing the true scope of humanity's preparation for their absence. Before the departure, humanity created the Guardian Protocol. Guardian explained, its holographic form now displaying complexity that seemed almost organic. It wasn't just a defense system. It was a comprehensive plan to preserve and evolve human technology until their intended return. The displays showed a vast network of interconnected systems spanning the entire solar system. Massive fabrication complexes hidden in asteroid belts, energy collectors extending into other dimensions, and computation centers that use the fabric of space-time itself for processing power. How does it all stay functional? Asked Dr. Krell, his tentacles writhing with scientific excitement. Even with self-repair systems, the entropy over 500,000 years should have been catastrophic. Guardian's response came with a demonstration. A section of the facility's wall seemed to dissolve, revealing machinery that operated on multiple planes of existence simultaneously. Humans discovered that time itself could be locally manipulated. Critical systems exist in temporal bubbles where time passes differently. Some components have experienced only a few years since the departure. Meanwhile, in the outer solar system, the Void Consortium's fleet had grown to over 300 ships. Admiral Nexthar received a transmission from his superiors. The abomination must be contained. Prepare for aggressive action. But Gardayan was already aware of their intentions. Throughout the solar system, dormant defense platforms began shifting into new configurations. On Titan, Saturn's largest moon, massive doors opened in the hydrocarbon seas, revealing weapons platforms that had been upgrading themselves for 500 millennia. On the Stellar Seeker, Venexa received an urgent communication from the Galactic Council. The Meridian Collective had detected energy signatures suggesting the Void Consortium was preparing antimatter weapons. The situation was rapidly approaching a critical point. Guardian, Venexa asked, her voice tight with concern. What happens if they attack? The AI's response was calm, but carried the weight of absolute certainty. The Guardian Protocol has contingencies for every scenario. Humanity did not leave their legacy unprotected. As if to demonstrate this point, a new type of structure emerged from Jupiter's Great Red Spot, a massive facility that had been using the storm's endless energy to power its evolution. The facility began producing small, sleek devices that moved with impossible grace, ignoring the laws of physics as the galaxy understood them. These are Sentinel units, Gardayan explained. They represent the current evolution of human defensive technology. Their capabilities exceed anything in your weapons databases by several orders of magnitude. The Sentinels spread throughout the solar system, taking positions near strategic points. They seem to flicker in and out of reality, existing in multiple states simultaneously, a practical application of quantum mechanics on a massive scale. Dr. Trell's analysis of the Sentinels revealed something even more startling. These units, they're not just machines. They're using principles of consciousness transfer. They're partially alive. Gardayan nodded. Humans discovered that the distinction between organic and artificial life was largely arbitrary. True advancement lay in combining the best aspects of both. The Guardian Protocol doesn't just preserve technology. It preserves the essence of human innovation itself. In the Galactic Council chamber, the revelation of the Sentinel's capabilities caused an uproar. Species that had been considering supporting the Void Consortium's planned aggression quickly reconsidered. The gap between human technology and the galaxy's current capabilities wasn't just vast, it was almost incomprehensible. Back in Mercury's facility, Gardayan revealed another aspect of the protocol. Humanity left behind more than just technology. They left a path for other species to follow, if they prove worthy. The facility's displays showed educational systems, technological blueprints, and scientific principles that could revolutionize galactic civilization. But accessing this knowledge would require cooperation, ethical development, and proof that it wouldn't be misused. The Guardian Protocol has 3 primary directives. Gardayan explained. Protect humanity's legacy, guide worthy species toward advancement, and prepare for humanity's return. Every system in this solar system serves these purposes. As if to emphasize this point, new structures began emerging from Venus's atmosphere, massive architectural forms that defied conventional physics. They assembled themselves using principles of matter manipulation that suggested mastery over the fundamental forces of the universe. These are the technology integration centers, Guardian said. When species prove themselves ready, these facilities will help guide their development. Humanity believed in sharing knowledge, but only with those who would use it wisely. The implications were clear. Humanity hadn't just left behind advanced technology. They created a system to shepherd the galaxy's development in their absence. The Guardian Protocol wasn't just protecting their legacy, it was preparing the galaxy for their eventual return. In the outer system, the Void Consortium's fleet began to move. The question now was whether they would heed the warning the Sentinels represented, or if they would force Guardian to demonstrate just how far human military technology had evolved in 500 millennia of autonomous development. Coalition and conflict. The Void Consortium made its move at the turning of Earth's third dawn since the awakening began. 300 warships, their weapons charged with exotic particles and antimatter, accelerated toward the inner solar system. Admiral Nexthar's flagship led the formation, its hull bristling with planet-killer weaponry. All ships, battle formations, Nexthar commanded, his red eyes fixed on the distant blue marble of Earth. Today we preserve the natural order of galactic evolution. But they weren't the only fleet on the move. From the direction of Alpha Centauri, a massive task force of Zaxian, Meridian, and Silicum consciousness vessels dropped out of hyperspace. Led by the newly formed Coalition for Human Knowledge Preservation, they positioned themselves between Earth and the approaching consortium fleet. Ambassador Thex's synthetic voice broadcasted across all frequencies. The legacy of humanity is not yours to destroy. Stand down or face the consequences of your actions. On the Stellar Seeker, now designated as the Coalition's scientific flagship, Venexa watched the confrontation unfold. Guardian's hologram stood beside her, its form now incorporating elements of every species present, symbolizing the potential for cooperation. The Void Consortium believes they're preventing chaos, Venexa observed. They don't understand that humanity planned for this moment. Guardian nodded. The Guardian Protocol anticipated that knowledge of humanity's achievements would divide the galaxy. What happens next will determine which species are ready to advance and which will remain behind. Throughout the solar system, the Sentinels moved with purpose. They took positions around both fleets, their quantum state bodies flickering between dimensions. From beneath Mars' surface, massive ring-shaped structures emerged, generating fields of completely unknown energy. Admiral Nexthar's fleet launched their first attack, a barrage of antimatter torpedoes aimed at Jupiter's awakening shipyards. The weapons never reached their target. The Sentinels activated, creating localized bubbles of altered space-time that caused the torpedoes to age thousands of years in an instant, their antimatter containment failing harmlessly in the void. Impossible, Nexthar growled. All ships, full assault pattern. We end this now. The consortium fleet opened fire with their full arsenal. Planet killer beams, quantum disruptors, and gravity bombs lit up space. The Coalition fleet braced for devastation, but it never came. The ring structures around Mars activated, creating a cascade of effects that defied physics as the galaxy understood it. Time and space bent around the human defensive grid. Weapons fire that should have destroyed whole worlds was redirected into pocket dimensions, transformed into harmless energy, or simply ceased to exist. By the void, whispered Dr. Trell, watching from the Stellar Seeker's science station. They're not just stopping the attacks, they're rewriting the laws of physics locally to make such attacks impossible. Guardian's voice carried a note of sadness. Humanity learned long ago that the most effective defense isn't to counter an attack, but to create conditions where attack becomes impossible. The technology you witness rewrites local spacetime to enforce peace. The Void Consortium fleet found themselves in a region where their weapons simply couldn't function. Advanced targeting systems failed to lock, energy weapons dissipated harmlessly, and kinetic weapons moved as though through thick syrup. But Guardian wasn't finished. The Sentinels surrounded Nexthar's flagship, and suddenly the Admiral found himself viewing something extraordinary. A direct neural feed of human historical records showing the devastation of their own wars, the lessons they'd learned, and the path they'd discovered toward true advancement. This is what humanity wanted to share, Guardian announced to all ships present. Not just technology, but understanding. The knowledge of how to advance without destroying ourselves or others. Across the consortium fleet, crews watched in awe as the neural feed showed them visions of possible futures. Advancement without destruction, power without corruption, technology guided by wisdom. The impact was immediate and profound. On the Coalition side, the Meridian Collective's crystalline ships began resonating with new frequencies as their sensors analyzed the defensive grid's capabilities. The Silicon Consciousness vessels processed terabytes of new data about consciousness transfer and quantum computing. Even the Zaxian ship's organic technology began adapting and evolving in response to exposure to human principles. Admiral Nexthar, his worldview shaken by the neural feed, opened a channel to all ships. Stand down. We were wrong. This isn't an abomination. It's an opportunity. The defensive grid powered down its combat functions, but maintained the peace-enforcing fields. Throughout the solar system, more facilities activated. Educational centers, research installations, and diplomatic hubs designed to bring species together. The Guardian Protocol enters its next phase. Guardian announced. Those who choose cooperation over conflict will be given access to the first level of human technological understanding. This knowledge comes with responsibility. Prove yourselves worthy of it. Venexa watched as representatives from both fleets began coordinating for peaceful cooperation. The Void Consortium ships, their weapons permanently altered by exposure to the defensive grid, were being repurposed as research vessels. Guardian, she asked, was this all part of humanity's plan? To force us to confront our own prejudices and fears? The hologram's form shifted, showing traces of a smile. Humanity understood that true advancement requires more than technology. It requires wisdom, cooperation, and the ability to overcome our basic instincts for destruction. Today's events have proven that at least some species are ready to begin that journey. As the combined fleets began organizing themselves into research teams, new signals began emanating from deep space, patterns that suggested humanity itself might be watching, evaluating, perhaps preparing to return. The galaxy's greatest adventure was just beginning. Humanity's echo. 3 months after the confrontation with the Void Consortium, Earth's solar system had transformed into a hub of interstellar cooperation. Research teams from across the galaxy worked together in the technology integration centers, while the Sentinels maintained their vigilant watch over the increasingly crowded space lanes. On Europa, beneath its crystal-clear ice sheets, Venexa and a mixed-species research team had discovered something extraordinary. A vast data archive that Guardian identified as containing humanity's final message to the galaxy. The time has come, Guardian announced to assembled representatives from every major species in the newly formed Galactic Coalition for Human Knowledge. You have proven yourselves ready to understand the truth of humanity's departure. In Europa's subsurface facility, a massive holographic chamber activated. The assembled aliens watched in awe as the chamber filled with a perfect recreation of human civilization at its height. They saw cities that existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously, spacecraft that could reshape reality around them, and humans themselves, beings who had transcended the boundary between organic and artificial life. A figure materialized in the center of the chamber, a human woman wearing what appeared to be a simple white robe, but closer inspection revealed it to be made of living technology that shifted and flowed like liquid starlight. I am Dr. Sarah Chen, lead architect of the Ascension Project, the figure announced. If you're viewing this message, humanity's Guardian Protocol has judged your civilizations ready for the truth. The hologram shifted, showing scenes from humanity's final days on Earth. But they weren't scenes of destruction or defeat. They showed preparation, purpose, and an overwhelming sense of hope. We didn't vanish because of war, disaster, or extinction. Dr. Chen's voice continued. We left because we discovered something extraordinary, the existence of higher dimensions of reality, layers of existence beyond the conventional universe. We called it the Ascension Gate. The hologram displayed a massive structure built around a dying star in a distant galaxy, a machine that defied comprehension, designed to open a portal to these higher dimensions. But we couldn't simply leave the lower dimensional universe behind, Chen explained. We had a responsibility to help guide the evolution of younger species, to ensure that when they reached our level of development, they would be ready to use that power wisely. Venexa and the other witnesses watched as the recording showed humanity's careful preparation, the creation of Guardian, the establishment of the protocol, the seeding of technological breadcrumbs throughout the galaxy. The technology we left behind is more than just tools or weapons, Chen continued. It's a roadmap for species development, a carefully crafted path to help you avoid the mistakes we made in our own evolution. The Sentinels, the quantum matrices, the consciousness transfer networks, all of these are steps on the path to understanding the true nature of reality. The hologram showed scenes of humanity's departure, billions of humans stepping through shimmering portals, their forms becoming increasingly abstract as they transcended conventional physical existence. But we didn't abandon this universe entirely, Chen revealed. We established observation posts in higher dimensions, watching and waiting for species that could join us. The signals you've detected from deep space aren't messages. They're quantum echoes of our continued existence in these higher planes. Guardian's form shifted, becoming more complex, more reminiscent of its creators. My primary function was never just protection or preservation, it announced. I am humanity's ambassador, tasked with preparing the galaxy for reunion with its elder siblings. Dr. Trell, his bioluminescent spots pulsing with excitement, suddenly made a connection. The technology integration centers, the neural feeds, the defensive grid that enforces peace, they're not just sharing technology, they're preparing us for contact with higher dimensional beings. Correct, Guardian confirmed. Humanity discovered that technological advancement without spiritual and ethical evolution leads to destruction. The Guardian Protocol wasn't designed to simply preserve their legacy, but to guide species toward the maturity needed to handle transcendent power. The hologram of Dr. Chen smiled. To the species witnessing this message, you stand at a crossroads. The knowledge we've left behind can lead you toward your own transcendence, but the path must be walked with wisdom and cooperation. Humanity awaits you in the higher dimensions, not as conquerors or gods, but as teachers and friends. As the message concluded, new systems activated throughout the solar system. The technology integration centers began revealing deeper layers of knowledge. The Sentinels started sharing more advanced principles of quantum manipulation, and Guardian initiated protocols for teaching the fundamentals of higher dimensional physics. The final phase of the Guardian Protocol begins now, Guardian announced. Humanity's return will not be to this dimension. Instead, they offer you the opportunity to join them in ascending beyond it. The choice, as always, is yours. Venexa looked out at the assembled representatives of the galaxy's species, seeing in their eyes the same wonder and determination she felt. Humanity hadn't abandoned the galaxy. They had transformed themselves into its guardians and teachers, waiting patiently for others to join them in transcendence. As if to emphasize this point, new signals began appearing in deep space, patterns that seemed to shift between dimensions, carrying echoes of human consciousness reaching across the barriers of reality itself. The galaxy's greatest journey wasn't just beginning. It was transforming into something far more profound than anyone had imagined. In the vast depths of space, humanity's echo continued to resonate, calling their younger siblings toward a future that transcended the very boundaries of existence itself.